It is time to make the sound to summon the stream. Wow, 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 why? I still have this very cropped. Hold on here. Forgot to decrop this. 0, 0, 0, top 0, 0, and we'll just recut from here. 50 pixels there. We can leave the top as is. There we go. That should be better. Greetings, dear viewers. I'm Kawil Quickcard, and welcome back to the Community RPG Maker Project. If you happen across this and are new over the more than the past year, I have been building a game in RPG Maker while trying to integrate as many suggestions from commentators and viewers as I reasonably can, while still trying to keep it as a cohesive whole. We welcome anybody who wants to participate in the project. You can stop by the live streams every Sunday and give your ideas there. You can drop them in the comments, or you can go ahead and join my community Discord. There's a whole channel there just dedicated to this project, and there's a link down in the description. Last time, and indeed for the last several weeks, we have been working on the next part of the game, which all takes place on this large, sort of marshy jungle island here. And so far, we've basically been working here on the southern half of the island. Last time, we were looking at and testing some of the newer additions to the crafting menu. I went ahead and finished looking at that in between sessions. So everything that we currently have on the crafting menu is confirmed to be working, which is good. I also went ahead and got the enemy groups made up for the areas that we have been building over the last couple weeks. And I got all of those encounter lists laid out across the various maps. So really, we just need to finish up a couple of things, and then we're basically going to playtest everything here on the southern half of the isle, start working on some of the stuff here on the northern end. Some of our objectives for today include adjusting some of the additional dialogue as we lead up toward heading to the northern end of the isle and going toward the Catfolk village. We're going to be doing a bit of skill design work, including a skill for our newest party member, Katasby, which basically produces a series of random effects drawn from this list, 3 at a time. We're going to be creating a stronger attack for Thatcher. We're going to be creating a new special attack for Malter. And we are also going to be creating a rainstorm spell for Thatcher, and also working on the bottle cap toss ability so that it actually ties into the damage calculations themselves. And then ultimately, I do want to playtest everything up through the splitting cave. And start working on the design of the Catfolk village. So let's get into some of this stuff. One of the things I want to do is take these Ice Bolt and Firebolt spells, and we are just going to create a stronger version, a significantly stronger version of this. And we're just going to give it Pepsi type damage. Chaos Bolt, we're going to make it more expensive. And what kind of a... there we go, that works fine. Deals damage that bypasses most resistances. So this is going to be a new move for Thatcher. And let's see. This works well enough for Chaos Bolt. It can also crit, and it's got a high degree of variation to it. So that is one thing already done. The new Chaos Bolt. And we'll just have this be like a level 18 skill that she can learn. I think that's good enough. Okay, hello noob, hello Cole. Add a mimic. Okay, so we'll go up here to our town of people contributing to the project. And so it's one down and one right. One down, one right. Remove a couple of the downs from there. No, move one more down. So that should jump into the fire. There we go. Okay. One more mimic added to the incinerator. Noob, you also need a character here. You can be very upset that we're just burning all these mimics. So you can just say, this really doesn't seem necessary. So let's find a character model for you. I don't know. We can just find some... just some person. This one looks fine. I think it's down in people 3. Yeah, there we go. So here is Noob Gamer watching the incinerator running and saying, this really doesn't seem necessary. And Cole, with you, we can add you somewhere. Let's see. We'll just throw in some person. This looks good enough for some person. Where is this guy? He is... that one. Alright. Coles, what do you want your NPC to say? Any preference for what your character here might be saying? While we wait for that, we can mark off some of the things that we've already gotten figured out. That's taken care of. That's taken care of. That's taken care of. That's taken care of. Pepsi Port location and the shortcut back. We're going to Pepsi Land. We've got the Poison Marsh taken care of, the Cavern taken care of. We're not really working on this yet. So just draw another line here. Nah, something. There we go. We could just put in a Pokemon reference, Cole. That could work. Okay. Let's copy that. Okay. See Moxie and you. Why can I not see... Oh, because that's way back here. So could... like that. Like that. So your NPC says, your adventurers, y'all seem like you could use something strong. Don't worry, I see the Moxie in you. You know what? Take this. It's on the house. Okay, so what is he actually giving? What is your NPC actually, like, offering here? No, they already get the crowbar from fighting the Joel. You were very, very clear about wanting that to be the way that happened. Okay, so I guess you give a crowbar instead. New gamer, Coles. Weapons. Okay, so you give a crowbar. Self-switch it up. Self-switch. I hope you are putting that crowbar to good use. Period there. Should all be fitting. Yes, is good. Okay, so the monsters ran off. Good. Take this, it's on the house. You were given Kroll's crowbar. Okay, that has been added. The next thing I want to work on is the liquor shot ability. Did I design a drunk status yet? I did not add a drunk status yet. Okay. So, we wanted the drunk condition to reduce chance to hit and also chance to evade. Hex seems like a decent enough condition to have that built off of. Okay. Is drunk. Is drunk. Is no longer drunk. We can have the confusion overlay without any restriction. The first thing we're going to adjust is the hit rate, which we're going to reduce by 30%. We are also going to adjust the evasion rate by minus 30%. My brain had a cursed thought. Please, offer it. Critical evasion, magic evasion, this is probably fine. Honestly, this may be like all we need for the drunk condition. A character banned from PepsiCo because they gave alcoholic Pepsi to a Catfolk kitten. Okay, so you want us to add a character who is offering alcohol to, who is giving alcohol to children. Is that what you want? You want characters who are giving alcohol to children? Drunk. I think we can give that a slightly higher priority. That should be fine. We also want to be reducing their crit rate. Not really, but it's a brainstorm. We might be able to work with that. We might be able to turn that into something interesting. I think we can workshop it a bit. So this is the liquor ammo. That's fine. Where are my various shots? Where are my shots? Here we go. So we can make this similar to furnace shot 3. We can make it a bit more powerful. Give it the Pepsi type damage. Okay, that works. This will apply the counter physical condition, and it also applies the state of drunk. That's fine. This is liquor shot. This is one enemy fires a foamy magical shot. Deals damage to an enemy and gets them drunk, reducing their chance to hit or evade attacks. What would work for... Okay, Balls of Light works for the animation. Bubbles! You're right. I think we can just use bubbles there. Okay, I think that works for Liquor Shot. I feel like the Catfolk who was on drugs would be the one to do that because they overestimated the alcohol tolerance of Child. So you want our party member to have offered alcohol to children. Batfolk can be immune to drunk status effect. If we end up fighting any, that is definitely something we can put in. So that is Liquor Shot. Now we need to adjust the ammo reset. Okay. So there is Liquor Shot added, and then ammo preparation. We need to add an entire section. So it goes after break loop end. So after break loop end, so in front of this end, and if the variable is equal to 305 times 100, because liquor ammo is only 100 per shot, does not have enough stamina to prepare X shots. And then it adds Liquor Shot, Malter prepared X number of liquor shots. Place new entries 2 diamonds above this comment. Yeah. Each ammo type should have a break loop followed by 2 ends before the next. Okay, so I think that functions. So it runs this, it checks the ammo amount. Okay, I think that's functional. We got Catfolk in the party now? Not yet. We haven't quite built them in yet, but that is the next goal. So now we need this to... Let's see. Catfolk. Maltermite can now prepare and use Liquor Shot. Liquor Shots make enemies drunk, decreasing their speed. Okay. Alright, I think we have now fully integrated the Liquor Shot ability. So I think that's fine. I think I had already adjusted battles with slimes. I have had no music for the last 27 minutes. I think I've already made the adjustment so that, like, fire and slime enemies were losing health? No, I had not. Summon Rain creates the rain ability. Okay. So we need we need rain to happen. So rain, this is going to say it is still raining. Okay. Which does a certain hit. Sure, that's good enough. Doesn't cost anything. It applies on all of the enemies. It does nothing. It applies a null state. Null animation state. Just so it doesn't say it does nothing. Okay. And then we have one more with no messages whatsoever. So this is going to be the rain damage skill. I feel like rain could be mixed with different liquids. Also, I think Thatcher would be the one to learn rain. Thatcher is going to learn rain. We are not going to screw around with having it be different types of things. Like, it's just... It's such a pain. It's such a pain in the ass already, just to make this work. But rain damage... on one enemy... and we can just have it be equal to like a good portion of their HP. So B dot MHP times surely I can just use a division symbol. Yeah, B dot MHP over 4. So, like, 25% damage with a 10% variation, that seems fine. No element, so it's not subject to resistances or anything. Okay. So this will apply to fire monsters and slimes specifically. So rain, which sets the weather effect. And I have already added rain healing triggers to all the maps. This is absolutely going to break stuff. Well, it is just a fact that what we are building now is going to break some of the things in this game. That's just the way it's going to be. Okay. So we activate the rain. So we're going to have rain. We're going to have rainstorm. It's going to cost 30. Certain hit. $1 summons a rainstorm, which runs the common event of summon rain. Okay, magically conjure up a heavy rainstorm. Produces various effects, damages slimes and fire creatures every turn. Okay, that's fine. So at the end of each turn, if the rainstorm is active, at the end of each turn, if rain is active, every turn at the end of turn, oh boy, this is gonna be a nightmare. Force an action. Thatcher to use the skill. To use the skill rain at a random target, maybe. What am I doing here? What am I doing? How does this work? Okay. Um... Okay. So... It's rain. So the rain damage actually has to do a completely different type of animation. So rainstorm all enemies like that. No, not that one. Rain damage, which is a certain hit, which is water 2 on all enemies. Okay. It continues to rain. So if the raining thing is active, then you'll cast rain damage at a random target at the end of your turn, every turn while the rain is active. Okay. So this is going to be rain damage. So now I actually have to go into every single enemy in the game that is not damaged by rain. And I have to make them take 0% damage from rain. So Toxic Toadstool, Leafwing, Gorilla, Cavern Crab, Resilient Egg, Worm Hatchling, Bottle Cat Mimic, Worm Queen, Scorpion, Snake Charmer, Sand Lizard, Wolfpack Mutt, Purebreed, Flurry, Man Beast, Wendigo, Legolas, Skaven. Molten Slime does take damage from rain. Rock does not take damage from rain. Lava Squid does. Fissure. Molten Slime does. Rock does not. Lava Squid does. Cat does not. Snow Beast does not. Elementalist does not. Arctic Bloom does not. Cold Crazed Combatant does not. Red Dragon does not. The Well-Rendered Zombie does not. The High Pixel Count Zombie does not. The Giant Zombie No, we're not doing double damage. Literally everything else is immune to rain damage. We're not just going to start complicating it even more by making some of the very few things that do take damage from rain be double affected by it. Blood Puddle does take damage. The Fungus doesn't. We have already complicated this to an absurd degree. Like, the majority of these new systems have not been thoroughly tested, and it is pretty much a guarantee that a good function of them Okay, fine. This one enemy, quite possibly the only enemy in the entire game, takes double damage from rain, an effect that they will not ever be hit with unless someone goes looking for them, because they exist substantially earlier in the game than Thatcher will have access to the rain ability. All of those are fine. And which nobody will realistically ever have a reason to go back to. Mimics are fine. I don't know when or if I will ever use these enemies in the future, so we need to get rid of them. Head of Flame, yeah, it can. Withering Head. I do not believe that you will do that, Cole. I truly, truly do not believe that you will. By the time we have actually added this ability to the game, you will have forgotten. This is a terrible idea. Okay, so now that that is done, now I have to take this, this page of ability, and I have to add it to all 134 enemy troops that we have in this game so far. Because the rain is a battle event that only fully activates. So this sure as hell better work. Because God help us if it doesn't work. I will have to make changes to every single troop in the entire game again. Then again, when I came up with this idea, I always knew that it was going to be a disaster. But, I mean, what's the fun of the ability? What is the fun of this project if we don't actually, like, go out of our way to break things every now and again, you know? Pretty sure those ones aren't even being used. But we are just going to make sure that everything is working eventually. The testing for many of these systems is still weeks away. And thoroughly testing them on every possible enemy encounter is simply not practical. Which is really unfortunate. Okay, we're getting closer to being done with this. Okay. Paste, 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 paste. We are on our last batches of enemies. I haven't gotten the all of the bestiary entries done for all of the new enemies, but I do at least have about half of the total work done. Okay, so rain is now included in the game. And every time you leave a battle, if the rain is on, shit. Okay. So I added this event to basically every single map so that when you're leaving the battle, if the rain activated is on, it will stop the weather effect. I'd say now add sun, but then you'd probably lose it. That doesn't work. There's a lot of internal maps. Okay, so rain activated has to turn off every time that you leave. Honestly, I think we now have to take this event and I have to add it to every single map in the game, because the old version of it is not good enough. Because I forgot to make it deactivate the rain trigger. Okay. So every single map where we might have a fight, we have to add this event. I didn't even have a copy of it here, for whatever reason. Okay, the forest clearing. For some reason, I had it here. Spire Town, the information center. Going to have to check over 100 maps. Okay. So it turns off here. And I have to check every single one of these corner events to make sure that I'm not disabling a pre-existing weather tempting trigger. And like that. And like that. We are only halfway done with Act 1. Okay. So this one reactivates the normal snow effect. Okay. Oh, this is a nightmare. And then the cabin, which is also just one of those. The mountain peak, which has its own snow effect, which we need to retain. So we're going to turn on the rain. We have now reached the tundra. There is something here I am going to fail at correcting. There is something here that is going to not work the way that I want it to. But I simply do not have the time and capacity to test every possible interaction. Nevertheless, we want to make sure that we future-proof as much as possible. I really wish that we could color code events. Like, if I could just make some of these boxes a different color, it would make it a lot easier just to keep track of everything. We are still not through Act 1 yet. Nevertheless, this is the only way to make sure that a rain skill works. In the Christmas fair right now, you should take your time and enjoy it. You can always come and watch the VOD, and God knows I'm not doing anything of, like, actual importance right now. I am literally just copy-pasting an event endlessly. And like that. I also still need to make more bathhouse scenes. Like, I specifically created a bathhouse so that we could get little scenes of the characters interacting with each other, but I haven't really added more to them. That is Quartos's home. Okay, that is all of Act 1. So now we need to work on Act 2, where there are, I believe, even more submaps. What the hell's this one? That's the tent correction. Tent correction should not be over there. Tent correction should always be over here. And just to make sure I'm still copy-pasting the correct thing, I am. Good. That is tent correction. Tent correction should always be top left, which means that this is the weather effect. Good old Wallachia. We had several good months interacting with this. Old woman fan service. I mean, if you want to think about it that way, you are welcome to. I kind of just think about it more as a normal thing that normal people do. There isn't anything inherently seductive or sexual about the act of bathing. Okay. The Wallachia invasion event. Despite what the shampoo commercials might try to sell to the world for their marketing, showers and baths are not really particularly a sexy act. They are a functional act. But of course, that wouldn't sell the shampoos if every shampoo commercial didn't look like somebody in the showers and actively in the midst of having an orgasm. which always seemed like a weird thing to me. Like, even if my shampoo was so profound that it would just, like, cause me to experience ecstatic physical pleasure while I'm in the shower and using it, that just seems like it would be distracting, you know? Like, that's not the reason I'm in the shower. Like, I don't want my shampoo to do that to me. I don't want my body wash to do that to me. That just seems inconvenient. You want to really impress me with a shampoo commercial? Show a scene of someone being, like, just thrown into a pile of mud, and then all of that mud being washed off effortlessly. Then I will be impressed. Don't show me the already clean person looking like they are in the throes of ecstasy. I've gone off onto a weird tangent here, but you have to understand how spectacularly boring it is doing this. Yeah, the multifunction men's products. But even that serves its own marketing purpose. Since if you can convince men to purchase multi-use products, they will buy that product more frequently because they are using it up more frequently. So a lot of the marketing target for women, at least in beauty and hygiene field, is a lot of separate individual products for very niche purposes. And then a lot of the targeting for men is just to encourage a high volume of use. But ultimately they lead to the same place, which is the purchasing of more product. But that is a generalization. It's going to differ a lot by, place to place and specific product to specific product. So that's a rain trigger. That's the tent trigger. That's the event story trigger. Still working on this, and we have not... We're only like halfway through Act 2 at this point, I think. The living area, that's fine. The library, that's fine. The undead barracks, that's fine. The armory, that's fine. The undermines, that's fine. The infected mine. What on earth are you doing there? You are not in the top left corner at all. The Grim Furnace. Honestly, one of the better maps I've ever built, I think. I'm very proud of the work that I did for the Grim Furnace. The Old Ruins. Ruins level 1. Ruins level 2. So my whole idea with the rain thing is the reason I'm being so thorough about this is because I imagine Thatcher learning, Thatcher and other characters learning moves from this point going forward that interact with the rain, or there being like, specific battles and things that, you know, go differently if it's raining. It's kind of introducing like another mechanic that players can play around. Like there will be some spells and abilities and effects that are stronger or have additional effects in the rain, stuff like that. So that's why I'm making sure to be so thorough. And that was the entirety of. Would Red Ryu take damage in the rain? No. No, he would not. The simple fact is that rain is really not harmful. Right, right. That's the cat. Okay. Pepsi Land Swamp, which is the one that we started at. Pepsi Land Exterior. I am almost done making all of the rain work. I am about 70% sure that this system will not immediately break. And I am about 30% sure that it will actually work as intended first time. So I do not have a high degree of confidence in this. The rain hurting people is going to be a very niche thing. Like, it's not just going to be a common thing. And it's not just going to be a matter that everything that is vaguely fire related is going to take damage. Like, it has to be something that is made of fire or is going to be actively dissolving. Okay, so I think we're done there. So we have the rainstorm for Thatcher. Teach Thatcher rainstorm. That's going to be a future thing. I don't think we're going to do the bottle cap redesign today. How'd the bacteria interact with the rain? They're fine. Microbes just absorb water through osmosis. It's fine. It doesn't damage them. Okay. Moving on. So we need stinging insects that might poison enemies. Poison attack. That's fine. Okay. Calls a swarm of stinging. Calls a swarm of stinging bugs. That's fine. Poison. Sure, we'll make it like 80%. It's much more likely to poison than not. Which is one enemy. So these are going to be the poison bugs. The next one is going to be the chirping bugs. Calls a swarm of chirping bugs. Sure, that's fine. This end. Physical damage, again, that's fine. Lock. They can lock down enemies to prevent them from using their special abilities. We also need a defensive barrier and a heal. So let's go grab one of Thatcher's old abilities. Okay. So this one... summons a swarm of soothing bugs. That's fair enough. Okay. Summons a swarm of soothing bugs. This is again a type none. Recover HP. We're just gonna have it recover like 25%. So that is the healing bugs. And then finally we are going to have the barrier bugs. It calls a swarm of circling bugs. Still waiting for the Ferris wheel. Okay, we are going to add a state 80% with 100% effectiveness. Barrier is protected by a bug barrier, is protected by a bug barrier. So-and-so's bug barrier has scattered. We won't have it removed by damage at turn end. That's fine. We'll just have it last for like a few turns. And it will just adjust the defense by 25%. Magic defense. Just go with 150. 150 is fine. Okay. State. This is bug barrier. So those are the 4 versions of Swarm Call that I wanted to have. So now when we use Swarm Call, first it will set temp A equal to a random number between 1 and 4. And then it will add us some conditionals. So if temp A is equal to 1, then it will force Catasby to use the skill Poison Bugs at a random target. And then it will increase the variable temp B by 1. And then if temp B is equal to 3, it will break the loop, which means that we need to start all this inside of a loop. Okay. So now we take this and we copy it. So if temp A is 2, then you use chirping bugs. If temp A is 3, then you use healing bugs. And if temp A is 4, then you use barrier bugs. So if this works as I intend it, when Catasby learns Swarm Call, it will do 3 effects in a row, each one chosen randomly. And the 4 random effects it can choose from are bugs that attack in poison, bugs that attack in lock, meaning that they stop the target from being able to use their special moves, bugs that heal 25%, or bugs that create a defensive barrier. Can we add a pigeon? That sounds very doable. So the next thing we want to do first, though, is we are going to create Swarm Call. And Swarm Call, it is a hunting type skill. Swarm Call can cost 22. With a flash. And it will just say Catasby calls on Catasby summons the swarms. Okay. And triggers one of 4 random effects 3 times in a row. Okay. So that is Swarm Call. And that'll be level 16. And let's give this one a test. So, Elena, you're going to be Catasby for a bit. Also, can Backfoot raise locusts as food? No. I don't have the assets for that. Okay, Catasby. Does not have Swarm Call. Why does Catasby not have Swarm Call? Catasby doesn't have Swarm Call because I initialized them back to level 16. Alright, let's see if Swarm Call works like I wanted. Chirping bugs. Soothing bugs. Soothing bugs. Okay. I think that works well. I think we can make it cheaper. It's really not like a high intensity skill or anything. We can make the attacks a little bit stronger without making them a lot stronger. Let's do 25% plus 100. Just to make it a little bit more useful. Okay, so Swarm Call is done. I think that works. I think we're ready to actually do a big round of playtesting. Do you have the assets to make places where the Catfolk raise the bugs? This is the village. This is the Catfolk village. Like, what do you want? They have a total population of 8. I don't particularly know where I would put this or why, and I would need to make more NPCs. Is it within my capabilities? Yes, but it sounds to me like you really just want more pets. This really just feels like your ongoing focus on just wanting pets in the game. Okay, I don't have a pigeon. I have a chicken. Surely I have something that's just a bird. I feel like if I give you the chicken, it's just going to make you want more pets. Is there anything more boring than a chicken I can put instead? Something that might not make you ask for more pets. No, I really don't think there is. Okay. Alright, there's a chicken. We have added a chicken. Quill, I got a skill idea for Catasby. Alright, go ahead. Okay. You also wanted insects. Do I have something here? Don't really have anything good for those. He sticks his fingers into the enemy's eyes, causing blindness. We've already got different ways of causing like a blinding effect. It's not a bad idea. I just don't know if it's going to contribute much. But we can definitely add that in the future. We can have it a skill be called Go for the Eyes to damage and blind. Let's see. Do we have anything that is good for bugs? I don't think we have anything really good for bugs. You think the footprints could work for bugs? I did briefly consider that. But they don't really have like a movement animation. Like it would just be, for example, it would just be a set. Ugh. It would just be a set of 4 vertical dots just moving around. I don't think it would look good. I don't think I have anything that really works as insects. I'm okay with making the building for the locusts. I'm just thinking, okay, how do they get food? They live in a dense jungle marshland. They are surrounded by animals and fruits and vegetables. There are fish in the water. Ugh. Ugh. You just want animals. I understand. I get it. Do they not have tame animals for food? They don't need to tame animals for food. Cultures do not develop specific technologies and skills unless they are necessary for their survival. This is why there are many isolated cultures in extremely rich places in the world, such as in the Amazon or, in sub-Saharan Africa, and many, many other cultures that have already been subsumed throughout history in other places that have a particular richness and density to local resources that never developed certain technologies or never really domesticated animals simply because it was never a necessary development. It did not make their acquisition of resources easier. And no, I'm not particularly interested in filling the Catfolk village with animals. But I guess if that's what you want, and we've already added one goddamn chicken, we can add some other goddamn chickens. Because I do not expect that you will stop asking for animals until I add more goddamn chickens. You sound tired. It's... Yes. Yes, I do. It is dealing with the same types of suggestions over and over again, week after week, that I find to be particularly exhausting. Not to mention it distracts from the time and effort that I would like to be spending testing and developing new things. Okay. Why are the characters not following me? And does that fix if I go with a regular conversion? It does work if I fix with a regular conversion. Why? That's why. Okay. So I have identified another issue. Change player followers off. Okay. So we need to turn the player followers back on. After the transfer. And we need to make sure that works for each instance of the transference. Okay, here we go. We didn't have people following around the player up here. That should fix it. Here we go. Fly to the clouds. Yes. All right, we got our followers. Perfect. And your adventurers, y'all seem like you could use something strong. Don't worry, I see the moxie in you. You know what? Take this. It's on the house. You're given Cole's crowbar. Hope you're putting that crowbar to good use. And I do have Cole's crowbar. Honestly, Malter can use that. Which will let you use Heavy Metal Bash, which should not be usable outside of combat. So we're going to do our testing for all the stuff we've built over the last few weeks, and we're going to make our bug fixing list. Okay. Fix Heavy Metal Bash so it is only usable in combat. We are now on the testing portion of the stream. Not doing anything suspicious. Okay. We already tested the Joel, so that's good. This is where we dispose the extras of anything that contributors asked for too much of. It's quite humane, I assure you. This really doesn't seem necessary, and... there we go. That's where we can get rid of extra pets and mimics. I think that looks great. Alright, let's move. First off, I don't have the hook shot, do I? No. Okay, this is all pre-hook shot. Good. Alright, so we have the Catfolk village. That chest wasn't there yesterday. It is very obviously a mimic. Be careful. Okay. I can probably just kill it with normal attacks. This guy is surprisingly strong. Thatcher, actually, can you give us a hand, please? Thank you, Thatcher. We got a Mimic Tooth and a Dunce Flower. The chickens look nice and cute. I like that. Where in the world did you find a tame dragon? 100 bottle caps per night. That sounds good. Speaking of lore, you said they feed off of fish, so there could be an option to catch fish that you can cook. Creates the healing item cooked fish that heals a percentage of HP that isn't high. That's definitely doable. Add spots in water in the marsh you can interact with to get fish. Then you can interact with the fish in the item menu, and they turn into cooked fish that restore HP. How does that sound? Fuck no, I'm not building a fishing minigame. I have built fishing minigames before in other projects. It is an absolute pain in the ass. Why does it not say... I don't know if the bow is actually usable by Malter. Confirm that the Masterwork battling bow can be used by Malter. Okay. You can have the jungle armor. You can have the jungle shield and the jungle armor. You could just copy-paste the code of those minigames now. No, I can't. I truly can't. They are built up on a series of nested common events and specific maps. They basically have to be reconstructed from scratch unless the underlying skeleton of the different projects are the same. Unfortunately. A couple months back, there was a lot of flooding and many of the bridges in the swamps were destroyed badly. Were destroyed or badly damaged. We are using hook shots to get around now. If you ask around, I'm sure you can find somebody who can lend you a hook shot. I would appreciate it if you limit your time here. All is not well in the marshlands. We're just trying to pass through to reach Pepsi Land. All that would be difficult. Recent flooding has rendered much of the path impossible. I believe we could aid you if you can agree to be on your way afterwards. I've got no problem with that. We have devices we sometimes use to traverse the swamps and caves more easily. Head to the nearby mountains and seek out one of my kin. He should be able to lend you a hook shot. Well, thank you kindly for that. Okay, so we have the same dialogue. I think that's good. We want to make sure that it's very clearly communicated. After all the flooding, it is much harder to get to Pepsi Land than it used to be. Until new bridges can be built over the swamps, you will need a hook shot to get across. One of our best miners went to the swamp mountain to get some more ore. I believe he took a hook shot with him. Okay, that all seems like it would be fine. Kind of funny if we could use the heavy bat out of battle to hit a fish in the river to get a fish out of it. Could it be done? Yes. It's not a hard thing to implement. Okay, those are not passable, just like they shouldn't be. To get fish. Increased chance to get fish if the player has Cole's crowbar. Thanks for the pre-profile picture. Okay, that looks good. Alright, let's check Swamp Mountain. Mount Graphy, whatever. Alright, we should have enemy encounters at random. Sun lizards. Alright, sun lizards shouldn't be a problem. Let's try Heavy Metal Bash. That did 915 damage. Ice Storm. I think Will forgot again that I sent him sprites for me months ago. Yes, I have them, but I don't have them in the folder right now. I can make adjustments for that later. Malter's attack is ass. Okay. Interesting. I think adjust Cole's crowbar attack animation weapon style. Thatcher with the ice storm. But only 950 with a 9x multiplier. Oh, we sure as hell did not put a 9x multiplier on there. 9x is actually absurd. There's nothing within this game that justifies a 9x. Either that or I did leave it a 9x, I don't remember, but I hope I did not leave it a 9x, because that is genuinely absurd. For the purposes of this project, at least. Alright, Fire Breath. What is the multiplier? I do not know. But then again, it might be. Yeah, for debug purposes, having whatever the multiplier is right now is fine. And it is supposed to be more of like a hidden item, so... I mean, let's be honest, we gave up all semblance of this being like a rational project months ago, so we can't really be too bothered by the fact that there's like some clearly blatantly unbalanced stuff in here. Okay, Thatcher's having a bad time. Heavy Metal Bash is broken on Malter. That crit for over 3,000. We have 55 bottles of Pepsi. Cool. I think the encounter rate is okay. Oh, hi, it's the Quapo. Okay, adjust the skill use text for some of the default skills monsters are using. I feel like a one-time use multiplier kind of where... Okay. Elena... Honestly, just go for the prayer. Ryu, double claw. Oh god, this thing has high defense. Okay. Quapo just boosted all of their stats. Fighting Spirit, Sandstorm. Okay, this thing's actually really terrifying. Okay, can we please do something to get rid of Malter's effect here? Thank you. Thatcher, keep going. Heavy Metal Bash. Okay, Quapo is slain. Yeah, that is a big, scary enemy. Okay. We've also got a cheap energy drink. That's fine. That all looks fine. Dunce Flower should not be usable in menu. Change Dunce Flower so it cannot be used in the menu. The Bestiary is working well. The Auto Win tablet is doing good. Okay. Sun Lizards. Ryu, do your thing. Okay, that's pretty good. Ice Storm. Nice. No, stay back! What's going on? It's Katasmi! He's been in the catnip again! He's gone berserk! Look out! Those catfolk get real nasty when they've been into the drugs. You've gotta help me! If there are gonna be stronger sun lizards, could they be called solid geckos? Would you be fine just having these ones renamed solid geckos? I think it's a better name. Solar geckos. Yeah, do you want to just call these solar geckos? I'm fine with that. I'm always happy for better names. Alright, the Angry Drugged Catman boss. So we're going to start with Heavy Metal Bash. Double Claws. Ooh. Nicely done. Elegy of Death. Holy hell, that is strong. I think it actually might just be 9x. Holy hell, Catman! Calm down. Lucky Slash. Okay, he used echolocation. He has increased crit now. He has also now used the drugs. This next attack is gonna hurt like hell. Let's make sure that Elena can tank it. Boom. Isn't echolocation a bad thing? Yes, Katasby has mixed heritage. He is half Catman, half Bat person. Which is why he is crucial to bringing peace to this land. Okay. That worked. Let's change message is slain to is defeated, because there are several instances of things that we do not kill but do defeat. Thank you, you might have just saved my life. What was all that about? It's a long story. What are you doing here? We are trying to find a way to cross the swamps and get to Pepsi Land. Ah, you'll be needing a hook shot to get across the swamps. I can lend you mine as way of thanks for driving off that mad beast. Receive a hook shot. Come over here and I'll show you how to use it. You see that pillar behind you? Those are hook shot targets. Anywhere you can see a pillar that looks like that, you can face it from the other side of a gap or river, or whatever else, and press the action button to use the hook shot. I like the idea of adding in the future for some of the old dungeons, having special areas that can only be reached by hookshot. Add a couple of secret treasures to old dungeons you need a hook shot to get. So now we can do that. Best of luck to you. I'll head back to the village soon. Come by and I'll be happy to sell you some of the crafting items when I get back. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Layman's terms, he's an abomination against nature. I think that's a little rude. Okay. So that all functions. The Mimic crash out area after the Mimic's burn can mine say, I should have asked for this with the lore. I'm gonna be honest, I can barely parse what you're trying to communicate there. After the Mimic's burn, can mine say, I probably should have asked for the lore first. Okay, now I see what you're saying. Yeah, I can probably make that work. We can afford 2 jungle helmets. Jungle helmets are good. Jungle helmet. Cool. Alright. Let's head across the swamp now. Welcome to the Pepsi Land Swamp. God, this map is so good. I am so proud of this one. Marsh wasps. Okay, we don't have a background for this. Add a battle background to the marsh. That's important. Malter. Just attack. Okay, fire breath. Okay. Honestly, prayer is pretty good here, because I'm pretty sure she just is immune to almost all of their regular attacks. Zenith. How does Zenith do against these? Okay, expensive, but effective. Good job, Malter. Doesn't his name doesn't come from cat, but catastrophe? Probably. Okay. Good fight. Let's get the obvious mimic. Double claw. I know we haven't made the area yet, but the Catfolk... More animals. Okay. Let's make a note. The Catfolk also have chickens. The Catfolk and the Batfolk ultimately are able to bond to repair their bonds because they both like chicken. Not gonna lie, I don't like to watch VODs. I don't usually watch VODs either. Okay, and I think... Yeah, more marsh wasps, that's fine. Ryu, do your thing. Ooh, I do have Shadow Slice now. I forgot about that one. Go ahead and attack. Thatcher, do your thing. And Fire Breath. Good. Good hit. Well, I was asking if the Catfolk magic animal protein in there instead for... God. Pepsi Land is just ahead. Okay, we're at Pepsi Land. We need to add a in-style rest and heal to Pepsi Land because we are very hurt. I was asking if the Catfolk magic animal protein into their food somehow instead of caring for agriculture. Following up on your previous message of... I know we haven't made the area yet, but did the Catfolk domesticate animals for agriculture or not, or do they just magic their protein? I don't fully grasp what you are attempting to get across. No, I need you to talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. If you have anything important to discuss, you should head to the boss's office upstairs. Welcome to the Pepsi corporate office. Do you have an appointment? Catfolk are magic users. That is true. They are the magic users. Now I'm seeing what you're saying. They just have chickens. Sorry, I'm on break. Malter, is that you? I haven't seen you since you left for Spire Town. Work has been brutal since the Pepsi portation grid went down. Please excuse me, I am busy filing. Yep, we're going to visit Shaltershite. I need to make sure that this guy has a complete walk cycle. It looked like he kind of paused on the far end. Yeah, we need to have a turn up. Add a turn up to the top left filing NPC in Pepsi Floor 1. That's an easy fix. The administration has been on edge lately. Why do I always get stuck doing the crap work around here? That's just the way it works, Shaltershite. Okay. Drop a save. We're going to go to the third floor first. You had a perfect way to get me to shut up about animals and you didn't follow through with it. Give proper lore about it. Honestly, if I reach a point where I find your messages particularly annoying, I can just choose to ignore you. That's the, easier solution to the problem. This equipment is very delicate. No entry is permitted without authorization from administration. That's typically how I handle actual annoying people in my life. I just ignore them. It's very simple. Sorry, I'm on break. That's fine. Another obvious mimic. Okay, add battle background to Pepsi office. We're getting a good list of things to do bug fixes on. Okay, very good. Malter, do your thing. Yeah, Heavy Metal Dash is making the testing much easier. Please do not interrupt our meeting. These quarterly projections are not going to present themselves. Shh, I'm trying to pay attention. And this guy's just asleep. I'm almost completely certain that this is actually just a bunch of meaningless scribbles. That's good. Keep looking. There has to be some useful info in here somewhere. It's not by date, subject, or even alphabetical. How the hell are these things organized? Are they organized? We've been scouring the records trying to find any ideas about how to fix the situation. Unfortunately, the filing system is archaic. Malter, do you think his thing is no longer bullets but the Hungarian crowbar and using like a real Hungarian? Okay, can you please step out of the way, sir? I would appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, time for the big scene. Boss man! Malter, thank goodness you're here. Things have been crazy. They sure have. Got some important things to discuss. Please come in. We didn't expect to see you so soon. Have you finished repairing the Pepsi portation grid? Not entirely, but things are coming along. I actually have other business to discuss. More important than the Pepsi portation grid failure? We've got over 5,000 units waiting to be shipped. Could be. Do either of you recognize this? What on earth is that? That's no Pepsi product I've ever seen. I've come across two of these things. One was on the dragon that was causing the blizzards around the tundra. The other was from some kind of ancient horror that dwelt underneath the Lakia. I can feel a vile aura from it even at a distance. What are these things? The label says Coca-Cola. My God, it can't be. What? What does that mean? Are you serious? Don't you remember your history classes? I remember sleeping through most of it. I only passed the remedial course with a 65%. God damn it, Malter. Okay, so then we get the meeting interruption. Excuse me, I have those reports you wanted? Is this a bad time? It's alright, I'll come by and grab them later. Thank you for your hard work. Alright. So he leaves. Anyway, as you all know, Pepsi headquarters is built over a terrifying, unstable rift leading to other dimensions. I had no idea. Why would I have known that? It says so on the label of every bottle of Pepsi. What? Huh, it really does. Anyway, through that rift are found many other worlds, all of them connected by the great primordial soda. The primordial soda is the ether that connects all worlds and sometimes leaks into them. In our world, the primordial soda forms the basis of Pepsi, but in other worlds it can take on other forms. Some of those forms are very dangerous. Not to mention they taste terrible. This Coke is a particularly problematic form of alien soda. It does crazy shit, like empowering ancient evils and stuff. Typically, when bottles of Coke are found leaking into our world, it means something terrible is influencing the primordial soda. Malter, we need you to get to the bottom of this and save our shareholders from the tragic fate of low quarterly profits. What? Why me? You've got more adventuring and combat experience than the next best 20 PepsiCo employees combined. You're the best for the job. And it looks like you made friends with a dragon, so that will probably help. Well, can't quite argue with that. Start by heading up to the 3rd floor and reconnecting our section of the Pepsi portation grid. Perhaps it will provide some useful information. I'm on it, boss man. Okay, so that... Okay, we can walk on the Pepsi. We don't want to walk onto the Pepsi. Make sure we can't walk onto the Pepsi bottle. Okay, these guys have no dialogue. Okay, add dialogue to the Pepsi bosses. I like how Malter is the only one with a normal face while everyone else is Jimothy Tiny Face. Considering that you gave both the Catfolk and the Batfolk chickens, I think boiled eggs would be an ammo type that deals damage low but distracts the enemies. Yeah, I'm not doing that. That sounds like work. Okay, so the other guy did disappear like he was supposed to. That's good. Let's drop a save before we head to the Pepsi grid, just in case it's broken. Okay. And 3rd floor. Ugh. Okay, Pepsi Land 3rd floor. Hey, Malter, here to fix the grid. Okay, that works. Enter the Pepsi portation grid to attempt to repair it. Yes. Okay, we are now in the Pepsi grid. So, I don't quite remember the layout of this one. We're just gonna have to kind of walk around at random until we stumble on the answer. I want to say this one? Yes. Okay, you found the magical orb. If we take this to the exit, it can reestablish the connection with the Pepsi portation grid. Okay. Here we go. Alright, just give me a second here and I should have this all fixed up. And then we're attacked. The Pepsi-pained pussycat emerged. Okay, so we need to add battle background to the Pepsi void. Alright, let's get this guy beaten. Elegy of Death, I think, is my strongest single target. It is definitely not my strongest single target. How about Lucky Slash? Not particularly lucky today. Double Claw. Okay, that was easy. Add 1000 HP to Pepsi Pained Pussycat. Maltermite's level 16. What was that? One of the Catfolk, I think, but it seemed different. Let's just get out of here for now. Okay. Alright, that should do it. This part of the Pepsi portation grid should be working again. You look a little roughed up. What happened? There was some feral catfolk in there. It attacked us. Catfolk in the Pepsi portation grid? I wonder if they are somehow related to all of this trouble. I got no idea. If you don't have any other leads, you should head north through the caves to where the Catfolk live. Maybe they know something. Here, take this with you. It's a special type of ammunition I made using some of the more interesting forms of the primordial soda. Maltermite can now prepare and use Liquor Shot. Liquor Shots make enemies drunk. We're going to adjust this dialogue. Adjust the event description of the Liquor Shot. Because what it actually does is decreases chance to hit, chance to crit, and chance to evade, but doesn't adjust their speed. Okay, so that's fine. Maybe the Catfolk know something. You can get to their half of the jungle by passing through the cave. So I need to burn through my growth shot so I can test the Liquor Shot. That should be easy enough. And now we're going to head through the cave before we finish our testing. Add materials vendor to Catfolk Village after obtaining Pepsi Orb. That's another thing I wanted to do. Okay, back to the swamp. We'll just have a nice leisurely walk out. Shadow Skitters, let's start with the growth shot. Okay. Ryu, Fire Breath. Let's increase the encounter rate of the marsh, just to make enemies pop up slightly more often. Zenith is fine. Okay, a lot of stinging. Actually, why don't you just drop a bottle of Pepsi on Malter? Malter, we need you to waste your growth shot. Okay, Malter ran out of prepared ammo. Perfect. That's what I wanted to do. Fire Breath. And good. Those monsters have been defeated. So I want to prepare the special ammo. And specifically, I want to prepare... Hold on, I am missing an ammo type, aren't I? I feel like I might be missing an ammo type. Liquor ammo. We're just gonna prepare 3 liquor shots. Yeah, I think on this save I'm missing... I think I'm missing an ammo type on this save. Hold on. The Chill Orb get, the Glarf Orb get, so Chill and Glarf. Chill Orb, Glarf, Wallachia. Maybe I'm not. Alright, let's move through the Splitting Cave. We've got another obvious mimic. Malter, let's try a liquor shot. Deals damage to an enemy and gets them drunk, reducing their chance to hit or evade attacks. There we go. Alright, we fired a foamy magical shot and got this thing drunk. Thatcher, do your thing. Nice. Okay, it's a Quapo. We also need a battle background for the Splitting Cave. Liquor Shot. Okay, Heavy Stone. That message works fine. Double Claw. Elena, Lucky Slash. Thatcher, Ice Storm. Heavy Metal Bash. There we go. Thatcher is now level 16. Soporific Omnis has been learned. Which attempt to put all enemies to sleep. That's pretty good. Cool, I'd argue to not have the Pepsi Grid battles have a background, as it shows that this place plays in different rules than the rest of reality. Oh, believe me, we've got some battle backgrounds that work really well for that. Oh, hey, it's Joel! Look at that! It's Joel! We're just gonna leave. Okay, that's another Quapo. Can we just run away, please? Can we please just run away? Thank you. Another obvious mimic. What's the code to just instantly kill the enemies? 321. Okay. Let's just get through this. There we go. We'll just use debug code 321 to get through here. Hello, Quapo. Debug code 321. I love my debug codes. Okay. Does this work both ways? Yes, it does. Alright, here's Joel. This time we'll actually fight Joel. And let's go with Fire Breath. So now Joel's been hit by fire. So Joel was actually 3 monsters in a trench coat. Liquor Shot. Malter ran out of prepared ammo. Good. Crap. Thatcher, if you wouldn't mind healing yourself, please. Malter. Why don't you prepare a couple growth shots? Ryu, if you would not mind getting up our friend here. Those should not be appearing in my inventory. Okay. That's a big bug, actually. Make sure bestiary items leave inventory properly. I don't think that's all of them. I think it's just the ones I hadn't done yet. No, that's all of them. Okay, that needs to be fixed. Then we need Diet Pepsi. Thatcher, if you wouldn't mind, please. Why don't you put them all to sleep? Do we have the distracting ammo yet? I'd say almost everything in this game is already pretty distracting. Alright, we've got a long list of bug fixes to work on. Okay. That's pretty good. Alright, what's the debug code for healing? 017 is a full heal. The hammer... Oh, can only be used in the menu screen. Okay. Okay, why... Okay, we need to make sure that hidden item A is not showing in battle. I may actually have to do a plugin to stop that. May need a plugin to stop them from appearing in battle item menu. That is honestly quite surprising to me that it did that. If you had an ammo type you could eat for heal or fire for low... No. Just... No. We're not doing that. The ammos are like Malter's ultimate skill. Even if we add something like that, there would never be, like, a reason to do that. let's see. XP for reserve members. Yes, I actually do want that. There would just be no reason to use a shot like that. As far as terms go... Whoops, closed my thing there. Bring the notes back up. Alright, we've got a lot of things to fix. Let's actually just go in order. So, Heavy Metal Bash should not be usable in combat. So, battle screen, battle screen, battle screen, battle screen. And Heavy Metal Bash actually is attack times 9. So it does have the original multiplier that you said. Confirm the Masterwork Battling Bow can be used by Malter. Yes, the... No, I actually didn't. I did not set it correctly to cat bows. So now Malter can use the Masterwork Battling Bow. Adjust the Cole's Crowbar attack animation style. Okay, we can do that. Cole's Crowbar. Cole's Crowbar. Weapon type crowbar. Weapon type crowbar. Weapon crowbar. Here we go. So crowbar uses a swing motion and the image of an iron pipe. Here we go. 9x doesn't seem so big now, does it? Yes, it does. But it works well enough that we're going to leave it. Check the Heavy Metal Bash multiplier. We did that. So the Quapo used some skills that are still using the system's default text. So we want to fix that. So Sandstorm and Shout are the ones that we want to fix. So Shout... roars and becomes stronger. Okay. Yeah, roars and becomes stronger, and then Sandstorm, Quapo creates a sandstorm. There we go. Okay, that takes care of the Quapo skills. Change Dunce Flower so it cannot be used in the menu. Yeah, I'm missing gravity ammo. I'm missing gravity ammo on Malter. Dunce Flower. Dunce Flower has no use. So that's fixed. Rename sun lizards to solar geckos. Okay, we can do that. The sun lizard is now called the solar gecko. Cole, by the time you see this, I think you're very far behind live. You may want to refresh your stream. Change the slain message. We can do that. Such and such is slain, is slain, is slain. You just don't look at chat. Not at every moment, no, that is true. Enemy. Is there seriously no default way to change the message of blank and blank is slain? Um, change message is slain to is defeated. This one is going to require a plugin. We need a battle background in the marsh. And let's see. There's probably an option for a swamp. That's poison swamp. So probably a forest. Yeah, forest works. Now we need something that's going to work. No, I don't want to use poison swamp. Oh, grass maze pool. That looks great. Perfectly caught up with the stream. Okay, good. Add an in-style rest and heal to Pepsi Land. So let's copy the Wallachia in. And Pepsi on the ground floor. This one should look a little different. Just like this. You can rest on these couches for a while if you'd like. Yes, no. We just copy all this because we don't need a gold check. Just like that. Okay. This guy should be shelter site. Salter site. Kind of like that. So this is going to be Salter site. Next up. Okay. This guy needed a mild adjustment to his right here. This is where he didn't have a turn up command. So he was just standing still for 2 seconds without facing the things. That is now fixed. Hold on. What was that? Add a battle background to the Pepsi office. Okay. I have absolutely no idea what would work here. Okay, room 2. Room 2 kind of works. Yeah, room 2 with just like a very basic floor. That's fine. Castle 2, Room 2. Realize the name Primordial Soda is a reference to the Primordial Soup. Yes, I did. Okay, Castle 2, Room 2. Castle 2, Room 2. And Castle 2, Room 2. Good, because I didn't. Make sure we can't walk onto the Pepsi bottle. Yes, that is another important one. So this is running tile set D, which means tile set D does not have that correctly set. Tile set D. SF inside, tile set D, fixed. Okay. Add dialogue to the Pepsi bosses. Okay. So when the meeting is over, this guy is just going to say, get the grid working again as soon as you can. And then this guy is going to say, all our hopes go with you, Malter. So if you fail, you can expect it to reflect unfavorably at your next performance review. You know, mathematically, IPOM is broken in Little Cup. Nope, didn't know that. Okay, and then once you have the orb, actually, this can just be his dialogue in general. That's going to be fine. Yeah, that's fine. Add a battle background to the Pepsi Void. Okay. So, dark space. We could just go space and space, probably. Do we not just have, like, a simple Starfield background somewhere? I guess we really don't. Okay. Okay, that works well enough for the Pepsi Void. Add 1,000 HP to the Pepsi Pained Pussycat. Okay, Pepsi Pained Pussycat going up to 3,000 HP. Adjust my bestiary notes so that they will be accurate. Because of Skilling, Tail Slap, and a 2 at the end of the damage formula. Interesting. Okay, that takes care of that. Adjust the event description of the liquor shot. Okay. I can do that. Liquor shots make enemies enemies drunk, decreasing their chance to hit with attacks and to evade attacks. The bestiary entry also has appeared in the inventory. Yes, I've already referenced that issue. Okay, add a materials vendor to the Catfolk village after obtaining the Pepsi orb. So we are going to grab this guy, and in the Catfolk village, okay. So we're going to grab this guy, and we are going to paste him here when Catfolk Interior 2 is active. But also after you have obtained the Pepsiland orb. And it is this guy, and he is going to say, I sell all kinds of materials that you can collect from defeating monsters. And then this will go into shop processing. And specifically, he will sell bubbling water, flavor packets, candied crystals, necrid hearts, and mimic teeth. So I do need to adjust the prices of these things. The mimic tooth is going to cost 1,000 each. Necrid hearts are going to cost 500 each. The rest of those are fine. Feel like the catfolk use invisibility magic on their agriculture that only the other catfolk can see to protect against pests or anyone trying to steal them. Again, it's like a grand total of 9 people. So I don't particularly feel that's necessary. Increase the encounter rate for the marsh. Okay. We're going to decrease the encounter steps to 25. And we're also going to decrease it a little bit for the splitting cave. Battle background for the splitting cave. Okay, it is gray. So, just a nice cave. That might work. Cave. Probably just stone cave. Nope, none of that. Rock cave. Yeah, that works. I'm not reading your comment. We all know how the suspension of disbelief in this sort of thing has to work. And make sure bestiary items leave inventory properly. That's what I'm not understanding, is why they are not there. Those are all hidden item A. These are all hidden item B. So why Why would something in Hidden Item B be showing up in a battle scene? That's what I don't understand. No, we're seeing way more items than we should be. We're also seeing Hidden Item A. We shouldn't be seeing any of the hidden items in the battle menus. So I'm not sure why we are. That's kind of weird. Okay. It's also weird that I don't have the gravity shot. Why? Why is that happening? I don't understand why that's happening. Let's see. Okay, let's take a look here. Hidden item may be, these are not displayed on the item screen. These are special items that are only displayed when selecting items during events. I don't think they're supposed to be showing up during battles. I need to test something. I need to see if this is something weird that's going on with my save. Or if this is an actual intentional component. Okay. Alright, let's go. Right, it helps if it's... Oh no, I just added it to that, okay. No, we are not giving Ryu therapy. Okay. It does show up by default. Okay. So I specifically am going to have to create a plugin to stop that from happening. So that's going to need a plugin. That's going to need a plugin. Okay. Then I think we're fine there. Additional dialogue leading to the Catfolk. Honestly, I think we're pretty clear on what is expected. So I'm going to go for about another 10 to 15 minutes. And in that time, let's go ahead and start working on at least the outskirts of the Catfolk village. So this is going to be outside village. This is going to be the Catfolk village. Let's find a musical track to play. Probably not that. Sure. Alright, let's start with an area of 50 by 50. So, one thing I know I want to do for the Catfolk village is to have, like, a big central building. So let's have a big building like this. And this is going to be like sort of the central structure for the Catfolk. And okay, so most of it done is with curved roofs. Alright, I see how I made this. Okay. So most of this is going to be like just big fixed areas that are accessible through multiple sides. How about a Coliseum, since the leader of the Catfolk is a brutish strength guy? The primary building being a Coliseum with multiple entrances. That's not an unfeasible idea. We could do something like that. Alright, so now we're going up a layer. Okay. Just like that. And we're going to have the next entrance up here. And just like this. Okay. And then I think everything on the interior... No, we do have one clean layer of this. Okay. So this is the first building. And we're going to have it with some cobblestone. Just like that. I got an idea for the Colosseum. What have you got? Okay. You could rematch bosses in it. That's not a bad idea. Okay, we're gonna make it a bit like this. So this is going to be like the actual fighting area over here. So this is just going to be... Oh my god. It is always the animals. It is always the animals. Every time, it is the animals. We are adding an animal to the incinerator. Okay, so from here you need to go down and left. Okay. Always with the animals. So this is going to be a cute dog. This is going to be a cute dog that gets thrown into the furnace. There we go. Alright. Anyway. So, this can work as sort of like a central place for the Catfolk. We also want a structure... We definitely want a few other structures around. So, like that. In general, we have like a bit of a more structured type of village than the Catfolk have here. We'll put a building here. And then a building here. Okay. I think that will work. There we go. And just like that. There we go. Okay. I think I know a lore implication for the furnace. It fuels the island to stay suspended in the air. I do really like that. That is probably like the most perfect way we could represent like the importance of contributors to this project. And this one is going to be another one that you enter from the top. Just a nice small area. Just like that. This one is actually entered from the side and is going to be a bit of a small or a taller building. Just like that. Okay. Perfectly okay if the catfolk don't have visible chickens. I just want to see the building for world building reasons. The vast majority of things that a world and society needs, you are not going to see in this project. Because I have limited time, limited assets, and limited capacity. That is just the way it is going to be. Alright. Let's see. So, do you watch Vsauce? Not really. I've seen a few of their things, but I don't make a regular habit of watching their stuff. Okay, we're going to have some roads around the village. Just like that. And like that. And like that. So I think we need one more building here. And another set of things here. Okay. And another one here. Okay. More road. So I think this is pretty fine. We really don't need to go more than 35 on that side. So like 35 by 45? 45, 35. There we go. Alright, so this is going to be the Catfolk village. Okay, I think that works. So now we are going to place some trees around. Like that. Okay. This is where we enter the village. Just like that, like here. Just like that. And I think that's fine. Okay. Cool. And more of the trees. So we sort of enter here. And goes over here. Okay. And then the trees go up and around here. And up and around here. Like that. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And perfect, 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 perfect. And then just a few more instances of trees. Just like that. Okay. So currently the outline of the village looks like this. I like it. I think this works very well. I think I want to use the brick instead of the thicker stone. Okay, I think that works. So, as far as our different structures go, we're going to have, like, a big watery area here, and then another watery area here. We will just fill the rest with grass for right now. Okay. Inside the interiors, for right now, we're just going to do it like this, just so it's visually distinct, so I can work on it easily. Okay. You don't even need to put a roof on the Colosseum. You're right, I could go without it, but I am going to have one, and we're going to layer up the roof bits by 2 more corners, just so that the roof actually has, like, some real good coverage to it. That will be tough with the corners, but I could honestly hide that with... I don't know. I'll figure it out. I think that's good enough for today. I basically got done everything that I wanted to do today. We were able to get our different skills all set up. The only big skill I really need to... Aubrey, what is your favorite animal? The animal that you love more than every other type of animal in the world. What animal brings you the most joy? Axolotls. Thank you. We exclusively eat axolotls. while they are still alive. There we go. Okay. The catfolk eat axolotls, which makes sense because they're easily able to manage them inside of the village pools. So I think that's perfect. Now we have solved the problem of what the cat people eat. They farm and eat axolotls. Okay, that actually is unnecessarily mean, but we raise axolotls in these pools. They are delicious. Is that right? What is it's axolotl? Yeah, axolotl. Okay. Axolotl. Okay, there. We have now solved the question of what they eat. Alright, so yeah, I think we're done for today. Aubrey, I feel sometimes like you are existing in a completely separate headcanon from this entire project's construction. Sometimes you feel very disjointed from what we're actually trying to build or construct. Yeah, world building is great, but there's a difference between world building and writing and creating. I love world building too, but we are trying to create something. There comes a point where an emphasis on world building is actively detrimental to the process of creation. And that's an important line not to cross, because at that point, you're not world building and you're not creating, you're literally just brainstorming. And brainstorming is good, but it serves its own function. Anyway, we basically got everything I wanted to get done today done. We have advanced our test save. We got a ton of bug fixes in. We probably got a crap load of new bugs introduced, especially with the rain mechanics, which I still don't even have available to the players. There is still a lot of work to be done. This village is not even close to finished. So I am not going to be streaming next weekend. But I will be streaming again on the 3rd. That'll be my next day for the Pokemon Nuzlocke series return, and probably the finale of Kanto, one way or the other. And then on January 4th, we're going to be back here with RPG Maker again. In the interim, I am going to be testing some of the systems. I'll probably do some work here on the Catfolk village a bit. When we do come back on the 4th to this project, we are going to be doing event and map work here. And we are also going to be doing event and map work here at the docks. Or, no, up here at the docks, which is basically the first destination that we go to on the northern half of the islands. Honestly, thank you so much for being here today. I know I can act frustrated sometimes. Honestly, I am very glad to have people here. I am very happy to have people actively participating and providing ideas. It genuinely, truly does make the game richer and more robust and more interesting to work on. I am genuinely, truly, deeply grateful for that. And thank you so much for your participation and your contributions. This project is better. This project is much better and much more interesting for having you guys here and helping. It really is. yeah, I think that's going to be it. So, current daily series on the channel, Pokemon Legends ZA is getting wrapped up. Metroid Prime 4 is getting wrapped up. Nekopara Volume 3 is going to have episodes coming out soon. And also, I didn't even know that this was in the works, but Pokemon Too Many Types. Pokemon Too Many Types got a sequel. There is now a Pokemon Too Many Types 2. I recorded my first episode of that yesterday. That's going to come out as a daily series as well, probably alternating with the Nekopara for a bit. And that's going to be leading into next year, so I am really excited. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Thank you for being here. I will see you all in the next one, and it is time to make the sound to summon the end of the stream. Wow, 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 wow.